Mike, let's talk some quick hits of what's going on in sports. You first.
Well, we have maybe the biggest high school football game in the state of Pennsylvania happening right here in Lancaster County on Friday night. It's Manheim Central and Cocalico. Central outscored their opponents so far 264-33. Wow. Cocalico 252-33. I cannot overstate how dominant these two teams have been. They're two of the top AAA teams in the state. They may meet again in the postseason, but they're playing at Cocalico on Friday night. They're expecting 8,000 people. We have photos online. People have already staked out places in the bleachers to see it. We're going to talk about this next week. Very cool stuff.
Way to suck up to the locals.
There you go.
I'm going to talk about baseball. You know, for the first time in 6 years, we don't have the Phillies or the Orioles in the playoffs, and I'm a little bit
antsy.
I'm a little depressed. Phillies 5 years in a row. Orioles, well, they didn't make it. At least I had the Orioles last year, and they had a nice little run. So and it's funny. We've got the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm going to root for them this year. They made the playoffs at least in a one-game setting. I watched them a little bit of Root Sports.
Yeah, that might be over tonight.
What is interesting is the Tampa Bay Rays played a one-game playoff, and then they put up a graphic when they won that 4 out of the last 6 years they've been in the postseason. Think about it. Their run started when they played the Phillies in the World Series, and they've been able to keep theirs going, and it seems like the Phillies are going the opposite direction here. And I'm wondering if the Phillies have one more run, but I've wondered that for about 3 years now. I know with the way the Orioles played this year, they have another run in them, and it should be fun to watch them for the next few years. They just about made the playoffs a game in a very tough division with the Rays. But I'm missing the local teams for the first time in 6 years in the baseball playoffs. What do you got?
Opening night of the NFL season, Peyton Manning throws for 462 yards and 7 touchdowns. Impressive. I love Peyton Manning, but watching that game, I'm thinking this is a little bit too easy. Last night, I watched Drew Brees, another guy who I love as a fan, 30 of 39 for 413 yards and 4 touchdowns. Again, he's great, but it's too easy. ESPN.com has this total quarterback rating. 21 of the top 23 and 27 of the top 30 individual seasons are by currently active quarterbacks. The offenses are way, way, way too far ahead of the defenses right now in pro football. It's out of balance. It's impressive, but it's too easy.
So defenses don't win championships anymore. Quarterbacks win
There you go.
Last segment is the 76ers are starting out their training camp in basketball. And I remember growing up as a kid in the 80s, going to Franklin and Marshall College to watch the training camp of the 76ers. That's when I fell in love. They had Dr. J. Moses Malone, Mo Cheeks, Andrew Toney, Charles Barkley. Great bunch of guys. I won't throw in Kenny Payne in there. Now the season starts, and I started to get excited to see articles and see clips on TV, and I think, what do they got? Who do they got? And I'm not really looking at the small picture this year of one season. I'm looking at the bigger picture. And
you better be.
It's a different type of team. They've got some young guys. I don't care if they win this year. I'm going to be watching more of the college games to see who they may get a year from now in a very talented NBA draft. At least it's potentially looking that way. And I'm looking at progress from some of these players. I couldn't believe last year Doug Collins, when they were losing, kept playing all these veterans. I wanted to see the young guys. Well, now I want to see Michael Carter-Williams at point guard and see how he progresses. See Nerlens Noel later on in the year when he comes back from the injury, how he plays out there. I'm going to be watching the young guys, and I'm going to be watching a lot of college basketball to see who the Sixers are going to get in the future.
Big picture.